Joining us now, let's speak to someone who is intimately involved in this bill. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Secretary Buttigieg, very good to see you again in your new role. Let's talk about this package. There's basically no chance Republicans are going to get on board. Will you be able to get this plan through Congress using reconciliation this year?
Well, I'm not going to give up on earning Republican support for this because we know that Republicans and Democrats across America believe this is a good idea. I know sometimes Washington doesn't mirror the American people, but I've had a lot of conversations on both sides of the aisle with members of Congress who care about this, too. And the president has laid out a very clear vision and also invited people to bring forward ideas on what they think is important. Bottom line is we've got to get this done. Our roads and bridges can't wait. Our ports and airports can't wait. Our transit systems and rails can't wait. The American people can't wait for good infrastructure. We're already losing the race day by day. We are 13th now in infrastructure, and China is not wasting any time, nor are any of our strategic competitors or our allies. So we've got to act, but I'm going to work every day to try to make sure we can act in a bipartisan basis because that's what the president wants to do.
Who have you spoken to on the other side of the aisle that you think you could get on board with this?
I'm going to let them decide whether they want to share our conversations or not. But what I'll say is that I'm talking every day with members from both sides of the aisle, House and Senate, who've worked these issues for years. And what's happening is, back home, their constituents are telling them, we've got to get something done about this bridge. We've got to have better roads. We've got to do something about the airport. Now, it's easier to say you're for something in general than it is to come on board with a specific plan, especially when it's been put forward by a president from the other party. I get that. But if there was ever an area to leave party politics aside, this has got to be that area.
Wouldn't we have said that about the American Rescue Plan? And we didn't see that. We've already heard from Leader McConnell. I want to read part of his statement. He writes, this proposal appears to use infrastructure as a Trojan horse for the largest set of tax hikes in a generation. He says this isn't even infrastructure.
So it's not Trojan, it's American, and it's not a horse. It's a highway system and railways and airports and ports and a lot of other things that Americans need. Look, they've been saying that infrastructure is important to them for a long time. Now's a chance to actually demonstrate that. And who is against improving our roads? And by the way, who is against the idea that we pay for this, not by raising taxes 1 penny on anyone making less than $400,000 a year, but by asking corporations to pay their fair share? Look, there are corporations in this country that have made billions of dollars in profits and paid zero in federal taxes. Everybody knows that's wrong, Republicans and Democrats. This is a chance to fix that. And the great news is when we do, that's actually going to be good for business as well as for Americans because business thrives in countries that take care of their infrastructure.
There is a lot in there that the American people absolutely need, but that wouldn't be considered traditional infrastructure, right? You're saying roads and railways. There's a lot more in there than just those two things.
Yeah, but that's part of how infrastructure works. Look, railways weren't traditional infrastructure in the 1860s. It was visionary when Abraham Lincoln said we've got to have that transcontinental railroad. Now we can't think of infrastructure without it. The idea of an interstate highway system seemed really futuristic in the 1950s. Then we did it. Now it's part of our core infrastructure. So when we think about something like broadband, getting broadband out, especially to rural areas that have been left out. Eisenhower or Lincoln weren't thinking about things like broadband, but shame on us if we're not, because that's clearly part of the foundation for thriving in America. We're going to take care of that. We're going to address water. I know you don't think about that infrastructure as often when it's underground, but it's critically important because if you can't count on a glass of clean, safe drinking water in the morning that's not going to poison your family with lead poisoning, if you can't count on that, then you can't pursue the American dream.
Then how do you help states who vote against it? Look what just happened in Texas. Texas was not a weather event. It was a deregulation event. They chose to deregulate year after year, and then their system wasn't prepared when they had a one-off weather crisis.
That's right. I mean, these really ideological experiments are catching up to us. This decision to dismantle a lot of our shared public infrastructure is literally why we can't have nice things in this country. This is our chance to change that. I mean, the sight of Texans melting snow in their bathtubs so they could flush their toilets is not befitting of any country, certainly a country that views itself as leading the world. But let me also say, in Texas, the city of Austin passed an initiative for infrastructure. Same thing happened in a lot of communities in a lot of states. I think people are ready to invest in things like this when they know what the dollars are going to. And, this president has made it very clear that he does not view American citizen, whether they are in a red state, a blue state, or a purple state, has an equal claim on the American dream and an equal claim on our responsibility as a federal administration to support them.
We desperately need long-term solutions, but the reason we haven't gotten them for years is because we are plagued by short-termism. We will and can see tax hikes overnight, but it takes a long time to actually get infrastructure projects underway. Are you prepared for every Republican to run against this tax hike in 2022 when a lot of these important plans just won't be implemented yet? They can't be.
If they want to play politics around a leveling out of the tax code that's fair for corporations and the wealthy, let's go for it. Because the truth is, again, Republicans and Democrats, maybe not always in Washington, but around the country, agree that we need a fairer tax code. This makes the plan better, not worse. But by the way, we're not asking for high taxes. We're asking for a normal expectation that corporations and the wealthy will pay their fair share so that we all as a country can have good infrastructure that's going to create millions of jobs and unlock opportunity for everyone. This is wildly popular among the American people. It's going to be good politics because it's good policy.
Secretary Buttigieg, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.